Hey, what's going on, guys? Fuad here, and in today's video, as you saw, we'll talk about the reasons why some Arab men prefer a woman from the West, and it will be based on my own experience as a Middle Eastern man meeting Arab people here across Europe. This may not apply to the Arab men you're dealing with or you're meeting with, so take all what I will say with a grain of salt so that you don't misjudge your men. Without any further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Sometimes when money isn't a problem and the intention is to have less serious relationship, an Arab man would be more inclined to go towards the Western option. Because in the Middle East, the woman would be more likely to be virgin before she gets married. And I absolutely know that the damage would apply to Muslim and non-Muslim, virgin, non-virgin. But I also truly believe that the impact on a virgin woman is more brutal. It would be more brutal to a woman who doesn't know what a player is, what the game entails, than a woman who has already seen something, who has already been around the block, and who knows these type of situations. So these are some of the logical reasoning that can come to the Arab's mind when he is looking at the relationship from this point, from virginity. And I can read your mind now that you're saying, yeah, but even Western women would experience the same heartbreak if he leaves her. And I agree with you, she would experience heartbreak, but it will not be the same as a woman who was since a young age dreaming for this man who will come and knock on the door and marry her. And then imagine after this, he comes, he speaks with her father, she gets excited, she marries him, she celebrates her day, and then 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, she gets a divorce because the man's intention were less serious. He just spent money on her to fulfill his desires, to fulfill his lust, and then bam. And especially the one who took her virginity. If you're not virgin and watching this, I'm sure you still remember the first man who took your virginity. It's different. And unless you are virgin, then here the experience would be much more similar. And there will be still a difference because in a Western world, you can marry one and then it doesn't work, then you marry another one. But in the Middle East, when you marry someone and the relationship ends, it will be harder for you to get married again. If you get divorced in the Middle East, your value decreases. And to this point, there is also a societal aspect. Let me give you an example. Both in the West and in the Middle East, harassing a woman is not allowed, okay? But if you harass a woman in the Middle East, before you realize that you got noticed, you'll wake up in the hospital with a purple eye. It's exactly the same deed, but totally different repercussions. I was once in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. I was standing in front of a shopping mall and I see a man with 2 ladies all covered up in black. You see only their eyes. And I just looked at them like, I was standing there waiting for my brother. He was in the shopping mall and I was just looking at them. And he nodded with his head. He nodded at me. And I was looking to whom he is nodding. Was that to me? And I see no one is around me. And I look back at him and he nods again. So I nodded at him. Told the 2 women that were with him, told them to wait, and he approached me. And he came to me, he said, what you looking at? I say, I'm not looking at anything, I'm just standing waiting for someone. He did that to me. Next time, don't look at me, okay? Don't look at my sisters. I was like, very calmly, he did like that. And people who were selling candies in the street, they approached me, they told me, go. This man is very known in the neighborhood. He will come with other men. And then I called my brother, I told him what happened, and I left the place. I was walking down the road on the sidewalk, and I hear someone running on the asphalt where the cars are going. The sidewalk was so tiny that only one person could walk there. So I was walking down the road, and I see that he's coming from the left side as if to check if it was me or not. And he said, yeah, it's him. And 4 people after him. He's like, it's him. At that point, I knew that I'm screwed. I got beaten. I was just covering my face, my eye. They would kick my face and everything. Until I got into I remember there was a car dealership. I tried to squeeze in and enter this car dealership for them to save me from these people. So this is just to tell you, I was not looking at them. What will I look at them? They are all covered up, but they don't miss. If someone does something to their woman, there are some repercussions. People don't tolerate anyone to play with their woman. There is the spiritual part, which is God and how God will punish you if you mistreat a woman who devoted herself to you and you only. And there is also the societal aspect and the implications that a man will consider when dumping or when having less serious relationships. The second point is physical beauty. And this is not to say that women from the Middle East are not beautiful, but you know what they say, the grass is always greener on the other side. Some idealize lighter skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, and especially Arabs who have never traveled out of their country. They have this Barbie image in their mind and they want to feel what does it like to be with someone from them. They want to experience what does it feel like to be with a lady from a different culture that is beautiful, more open-minded to things. They find it intriguing, and now with the advent of the internet and social media, Arab men are more exposed to the Western culture than ever before. They have fantasy about all these things. Number 3 is socio-economic motivations. One of my last relationships, the woman I just came to know, and we were still talking and nothing, like at the beginning of the relationship, she told me, "Are you with me because you want to get the papers and stuff?" I told her, "Baby, I have already the European passport," and I had to show it to her. Even if she gave it to me as a joke, it's true. Another reason why Arab men would be interested in a Western woman would be rooted in socio-economic factors. Many Arab countries are still struggling with high unemployment rates and economic instability, and particularly among the lower and middle classes. And in this context, many men see a Western woman as a path to a better life, both financially and socially. So let me give insider information. I've met a lot of Arab men who had in mind that they want to marry a Western woman, not just to play with her and to get the papers, but they had considered the idea that they will be able to leave their country and move to the West, move to a developed country where they can have a better life. Their intention was not to dump her later, but they had also like this in mind. If you, for example, these people I'm talking about, they were working in hotels. So if you go to a vacation somewhere and you come across an Arab man who's working in this hotel, you develop a relationship with him. Maybe he has also this in mind that, okay, she's from the West, I can get a chance to go to the West, which without her, I wouldn't have this possibility to go. People are dying, migrating to the West. And here I can have a loving relationship. I can have a woman who would love me and I would love her and would have beautiful family, beautiful kids. And I can also get to improve myself, improve my life. And so this is also one of the reasons that one might consider having a relationship with a Western woman. Number 4 is affordability. It's related to the point we just discussed, but here I want to address the mahar aspect of getting with a woman from the Middle East and getting with a woman from the West. In Islam, you should give your wife mahar, which is buying her something, gifts. But now it became a tradition that you have to put a lot of gold, money, gifts, clothes. It's expensive. It's really expensive to have. I know people that spend $50,000 buying gold gifts for their bride. And beside that, if you marry a woman from the Middle East, you will have to be interviewed by her father. He would assess if you are well enough, if you are responsible enough, if you can provide financially, if you can pay for things. So there are some prerequisites. So there are some prerequisites and steps that a man should take and go through before he gets a piece of cake. While in the West, easy peasy. You still have to give her a mahar, but it doesn't have to be 2 kilos of gold. It doesn't have to be camels. I know that it's a stereotype of women here in the West when they meet you. Habibi, how many camels you will give me? How many? I want a diamond, I want cars, blah, blah, blah. And also one of the comments on the previous video spoke about that women who want an Arab man are gold diggers. It's not always the case. We see women who are just like fell in love with the person, not just from where he is. They just fell in love with him as a person. So it's not true that all women are gold diggers, and it's not true that Arab men has only gold to offer. A lot of Arab men are really respectful. They have dignity. They respect their woman. They love her. And the women also, they love the man that they are. They love the other characteristics of the man. If I was a Western woman, I would want an Arab man. I would care for you. I wouldn't ask you for half of the rent. I would buy you things. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. So this is what an Arab man is, or at least a man like me. And this is not a promotion. This is just saying that Arab men are not just about gold, money, and stuff like that. You're marrying a person that you will have kids with. Marry a person that will carry you and your kids, and you'll have a better life even down the road when you're older. Number 5 is status. Many Arab modern men would want a Western woman who is beautiful to be by their side to show their status. And I have seen living in Europe, many of them have their own wives who are Muslim to dress provocatively, immodestly, just to show their status, to show what they have at home. Some of them would stick to the tradition, would have still dignity, and they want their wife to be only for them. So what they would do is that they would opt in to have a Western woman to do the status thing, to show people what they have. So this is also what ballers do and what's often portrayed in Western media, and this is also what some Arabs consume and try to apply. And lastly, the sixth reason is genuine attraction. Maybe the man just fell in love with your smile, with your sense of humor, with how you portray yourself, with how you walk, with how you stand. The man is just maybe fell in love with you without any of these reasons. The man saw you, he fell in love with you, he can't think of someone else but you, he can't imagine a love life without you, and he's thinking about kids with you. He knows how exotic it will be, and he's excited about you. That could be just simply the reason. So take all what I said with a grain of salt. Don't misjudge your man. This was just for entertainment purposes. Take it as a chat, someone who's ranting on YouTube. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Let me know what you think in the comments for sure.